Okay, we're going to continue looking at tapping with yet another approach. This just goes to show how far Eddie Van Halen really pushed this technique. You know, at the moment, we're only dealing with tapping with one finger. You know, Eddie developed techniques where he was using multiple fingers, almost playing the fretboard like a piano. You know, he really pushed this technique to the limit. Okay, for this next technique, we're going to utilize open strings. Great examples of licks that use open strings with tapping can be heard in Spanish Fly and also during that iconic introduction for Hot for Teacher. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to look at using our pentatonic tapping figure where we were tapping on the 12th fret across all 6 strings and keeping our fretting hand within the framework of the minor pentatonic. But we're going to include each open string. So what you're going to do is you're going to tap on the 12, pull off to the 8, pull off to the 5, and then you're going to pull off to the open. Okay, so that's... So you can see how we're able to add a 4th note, but it's a much lower note thanks to the fact that we're using the open string. So that gives us even more harmonic range to our tapping figures. So let's look at that one more time. Then you're going to hammer on with your 1st finger and then back down with your 3rd finger and then start the sequence again. So one more time. Let's just loop the top E string 4 times as we've been doing with all of our other exercises. Okay, now we're going to drop that down onto the B string. It's exactly the same shape, tapping 12, pulling off 8, pulling off 5, pulling off open, then hammering 5, hammering 8, and then starting again. Let's play that 4 times. Now take care with that one. When you're pulling off to the open B, you might have a tendency to catch the open top E. So really be controlled with your 1st finger because you can't use your 1st finger to mute the top E string. You could introduce fingers from your picking hand. I sometimes do that, maybe touch with my 3rd finger on the edge of the neck there. So... Okay, so I'm utilizing the fingers of this hand to mute out unwanted string noise. But to be honest with you, kind of in the heat of the moment of playing one of these licks with some, you know, anger or intensity, I don't really think too much about muting out the other strings. I'm just controlling it with my you know, the movement of my 1st finger of my fretting hand. Onto the G string now. We're going to tap 12, pull off 7, pull off 5, pull off open, hammer 5, hammer 7, and then repeat. So let's play that 4 times. Dropping down onto the D string, we're going to do exactly the same thing, same shape. Onto the A string now, exactly the same shape. Let's play that 4 times. And now onto the bottom E. For this, I'm using my little finger. It's a little bit easier when it comes to playing the rest of the scale shape, you know, instead of playing with your 3rd, you know, that would work. I just prefer using my little finger on the low E, especially with the position of your hand. So let's have a listen to that 4 times. Okay, following on from that, we're just then going to ascend through all of the strings. So... Okay, now let's play the same exercise, but this time, yes, you've guessed it, we're going to repeat each string just twice. Here we go. And now let's just play the exercise through in its entirety, just playing once on each string. Okay, so now it's your turn to play through the open string tapping exercises, and I'll see you back here in a moment for our next part of this lesson.